Okay. Thank you for being here
It's
with
my
us.
pleasure. Thank you.
How is your campaign doing?
Spectacular. We launched on March 1st, which was a mere 37 days ago. We've got wonderful momentum, tremendous enthusiasm around the state. Just had a great session over at the Western Sizzlin with Democrats from Benton and Washington County, senior Democrats. It's just things are just going spectacularly well, and I'm very grateful for the support of Arkansans, all over the state. People had called and emailed and stopped me in the street and asked me to run. And their response since the decision to run and since the announcement, 37 days ago, has just been wonderful.
It's not too much. It's like a month.
Oh,
Right, that's it.
that's right, exactly right. And in fact, the voting begins, early voting begins 27 days from today, and the actual election is a mere 6 weeks from today. So we've got to we've got a lot to do in a short period of time, but we're working on it hard.
Was that too late for you to start doing
You
it?
know, I mean, I think there's some people that are gonna wonder about that and question that, but you know, I just don't like campaigns that run for years at a time. I have a job that the voters have given me and bestowed on me, the honor of being the lieutenant governor of the state, and I wanted to get all the things done as lieutenant governor that I had committed to the voters when I ran for that office in 2006, and we've done that. And there are some that might question how short this period is, but I think we've made tremendous strides in a very short period of time, and it's been due to the enthusiasm of Arkansans that we've been able to do it.
Who was the first person you told, I want to be a senator?
Well, it's a decision that my wife and I talked about carefully, because this is a decision that really does have implications for our family, and my wife Shanti and I don't make any major decisions without really thoroughly talking about it between ourselves. And
After being a lieutenant governor, we thought maybe you want to run for governor.
well, there are some folks that have encouraged me to had encouraged me to run for governor, and then there are other folks that encouraged me to run for Congress. Other folks wanted me to run for re-election as lieutenant governor en route to governor. But having weighed it, having looked at the very important time that we have in our country right now, looking at the problems that we confront and the opportunities that are there for us, and certainly thinking about the power of special interest in Washington, and my desire to take those special interests on in a good fight on behalf of middle-class Arkansans. I just thought that it was the time, and certainly the reaction from folks has been just extraordinarily good.
What kind of Democrat are you?
Well, I'm a Democrat that's really focused on middle-class Arkansans and trying to provide the educational opportunities for their children, the economic opportunities that the state of Arkansas deserves. Pardon me, the protection of retirement income that our seniors deserve in Social Security. I was delighted to serve as the deputy commissioner, the #2 official at the Social Security Administration under Bill Clinton. I served for 6 years before that in the White House. I'm a Democrat that believes strongly in the power of working men and women. I also believe very strongly in fiscal responsibility and balancing the federal budget and making sure that we're not running extraordinary deficits and racking up debt. I think that is a real problem in the direction that we have taken in the last 10 years. So, I'm an Arkansas Democrat, a Democrat that believes in.
Because there is another Democrat
Oh,
over there.
I know there is.
And don't tell me you're the same kind of Democrat.
No, I think there are distinctions between Senator Lincoln and myself on important issues.
Like what?
Well, there's certainly a distinction with respect to providing tax cuts for extraordinarily wealthy individuals. She favors the elimination of the estate tax. I don't. I don't think we need to be providing an additional tax break to people that have more than $10 million of wealth. I think those folks have done very well for themselves here in the last 10 years. I'm more concerned about men and women in Arkansas and their families who are working hard to put food on the table and to make the rent payment or the mortgage payment, who are looking for the opportunities for their children or their grandchildren. Those are the folks that I'm focused on.
And what do you think about the polls? Lately, they say that Lincoln is still ahead of you.
Yes, but we're closing rapidly, and the polls also show that I run much stronger against any Republican opponent than Senator Lincoln does. In fact, a Republican poll released last week shows me doing 8 points better against the Republican candidates than Senator Lincoln is. And, you know, ultimately, the only poll I'm worried about is the poll on Election Day. That's the one that matters. We know in this race that we will, our efforts will reach their peak right at Election Day. And so that's what we're focused on. The polls also show that Senator Lincoln is below 50%, and that's a very unsafe place for an incumbent to be.
Why is not good to keep Lincoln in the Senate for people from Arkansas?
Well, I think I'm running the race that's focused on restoring a check on special interest in Washington, putting in place somebody who's willing to combat powerful special interest. Senator Lincoln has received hundreds of thousands and in some cases millions of dollars in campaign contributions from insurance companies and insurance executives, Wall Street executives, political action committees or PACs. My contributions are coming from folks all over Arkansas who are contributing an average contribution of $30. By contrast, our contributions are averaging over $1,000, and they're coming from corporate executives of insurance companies in Wall Street.
How much money you need?
Well, I need to raise more, and we're doing that. But I'm focused more on how many votes we need.
And how many votes do you need?
Well, I think we need 50% of the votes plus one, and that's the likely turnout in Arkansas in this primary is about 300,000 people. So we'll need 150,001 votes.
That's just to beat Lincoln, right?
Right.
And then, in case you won that election, who do you think is going to be the opponent for the Republican?
Well, I don't know. They've got 8 candidates in the race, and I look forward to.
Who would you like?
No, I'm gonna look forward to.
Beat him.
No, I'm looking forward to whoever they nominate, because it'll be a good, spirited race, and I think there'll be very significant policy differences between us.
Okay.
Can I give you a last question? I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're now running behind again.
What can you do for the Hispanic community if you get elected as senator?
Well, I think first to make sure that there's no discrimination. I think that's one of the most important things we can focus on. Secondly, to make sure that there are educational and job opportunities available to folks. I'm especially focused and have been focused with the scholarship program that we've established here in Arkansas, providing
with the lottery.
Exactly, with providing those educational opportunities for our young people, and also for what we affectionately call non-traditional students, adults, who would like to go back to college to improve their skills and their training. But I look forward to actively working with the Hispanic community here in Northwest Arkansas and around the state. As I've done as Lieutenant Governor, I would look forward to continuing to do that as your United States Senator.
Do you support the reform immigration?
I do support a pathway to citizenship. I absolutely do. I think that obviously it's an issue which has a number of different components to it and complexities to it, but I do support a pathway to citizenship, and I look forward to discussing that and other things in the course of the campaign.
If you were the senator right now, will you be supporting? Can we have your vote for the reform immigration?
Well, they haven't put a reform bill on the table yet, but I am certainly supportive of the idea of immigration reform, absolutely.
Thank you very much.